your shot against George Kambosos, who is now considered by people like me the lightweight champion of the world because he beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat Vasily Lomachenko. But you think you have a claim to the lightweight title too?
Well, we know that at the end of the day, whether...
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So what you just heard is the voice of ESPN analyst, who is ESPN's boxing special analyst, and Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman, he calls fights. He's an analyst for all sports, but he's an analyst for boxing. He's the special. You know, he has the, he's quote unquote the boxing expert for ESPN. Okay. And he has his show, obviously, we know, Max on Boxing. And he does an interview with Devin Haney, and this is what Max Kellerman has to say.
Your shot against George Kambosos, who is now considered by people like me the lightweight champion of the world.
People like me. I want you to hear what he said. Who is considered by people like me.
Your shot against George Kambosos, who is now considered by people like me the lightweight champion of the world.
It's not what Max Kellerman considers himself. If you don't know, he's talking to undefeated WBC lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Devin the Dream Haney, who's 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's going into a massive undisputed showdown with undefeated, newly crowned Australian star, unified lightweight world champion, George Kambosos Jr., who is 20 wins, no losses, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 68-inch arm reach. It's going to take place June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia. So Max Kellerman, he's trying to push the narrative that Devin Haney is not the official champion, but we know this is for undisputed. Okay, we know that, and you're going to hear Max Kellerman go on to say, well, George Kambosos beat the man who beat the man. So we know two-time Olympic gold medalist, three-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer, Vasily Lomachenko, was never considered undisputed. Vasily Lomachenko was the unified lightweight world champion. Devin Haney was Vasily Lomachenko's mandatory. After Vasily Lomachenko, he beat Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, who is a British star lightweight title contender for the vacant WBC World Boxing Council. The president, Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members. The WBC title that was vacated by four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. So Lomachenko fought Luke Campbell for the vacant belt. Now, initially it was supposed to be Devin Haney versus Luke Campbell for the vacant belt. Lomachenko fought Luke Campbell for the vacant belt, okay? He then unified his belts against Teofimo Lopez, who was going into a title contention. So now Lomachenko beat Luke Campbell in August, okay? Teofimo Lopez, he fought, this is August of 2020, okay? So August of 2020, he beat Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title. Devin Haney is his mandatory. Teofimo Lopez is fighting Richard Coleman, who was the IBF lightweight champion, December 14th of that year, okay? No, so this is 2020, early 2020, right? Early 2019, excuse me, in 2019. So we know that Lomachenko was, Devin Haney was Lomachenko's mandatory. He petitioned to be the franchise champion. Thus, you're vacating the WBC title. Devin Haney was already in line. Devin Haney become the WBC lightweight champion. Similar to what took place in the middleweight division when Saul Canelo Alvarez vacated his WBC title. Jermall Charlo was elevated to the WBC champion, and the rest is history. Jermall Charlo is still the WBC champion. Nobody considers him nothing other than the WBC champion. So Lomachenko, he decided that he wasn't going to fight Devin Haney. He vacated the WBC title. He became the franchise, which the WBC, they explained that it was a award. It was an acknowledgement. Okay. You can't win or lose the franchise title. Okay. Then Lomachenko, he fought Teofimo Lopez, who knocked out Richard Coleman for the IBF title in the unification bout. He lost to Teofimo Lopez, who became the unified champion. Teofimo Lopez defended it against his IBF mandatory, George Kambosos, and he lost the titles to George Kambosos. There's only 6 undisputed 4 major sanctioned belt holders in the history of the sport of boxing. And George Kambosos Jr., Teofimo Lopez, nor Lomachenko are one of them. Number 1 is Bernard Hopkins. Number 2 is Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins to become undisputed. Number 3 is Terrence Crawford at junior welterweight. Number 4 is Oleksandr Usyk at cruiserweight. Number 5 is Josh Taylor at junior welterweight. And number 6 is Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. That's it. There's only 6 undisputed 4-belt major sanctioned undisputed champions in the history of sport of boxing, and none of them are named Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos Jr., nor Vasyl Lomachenko. So Max Kellerman is trying to push the narrative that Devin Haney is not the WBC champion, and he considers George Kambosos the champion. But Devin Haney sets him straight.
He beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat Vasily Lomachenko. But you think you have a claim to the lightweight title, too?
You think you have a claim to the lightweight title? No, you look at the WBC rankings at lightweight. Devin Haney is the WBC lightweight champion, and George Kambosos is the WBC franchise champion. So he is not he is the WBC champion. What is Max Kellerman trying to, what is he trying to achieve by trying to tell Devin Haney, you think you are the WBC champion, when he has the belt on the table while he's talking to Max Kellerman, who's well-versed in the sport of boxing?
Well, we know that at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, I am the WBC lightweight champion.
Thank you. So Devin Haney, he sets him straight. Now let's listen from the beginning one more time how Max Kellerman tries to press the narrative that Devin Haney's not the champion and going to say it's his opinion. He don't want to speak the facts. He want to speak his opinion on it. Listen.
Your shot against George Kambosos, who is now...
Remember, who's the champion is not opinionated. It's a fact. Either you're the champion or you're not.
Considered by people like me.
He says considered. Okay, so that's your choice.
Your shot against George Kambosos.
His shot at George Kambosos, as if Devin Haney is getting the opportunity to fight for the world title. He's already a champion. It's an opportunity for both guys to create history and become undisputed in a glamour division.
Who is now considered by people like me the lightweight champion of the world because he beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat Vasily Lomachenko. But you think you have a claim to the lightweight title, too?
This is the problem with the narratives in the sport of boxing.
Well, we know that at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, I am the WBC lightweight champion. I'm on my 5th title defense. I've been beating everyone that they put in front of me. It's the truth. If you can, the track record shows that Loma did petition to
get out of his mandatory against you, right?
So there, listen to Max Kellerman confirm that he knew Lomachenko petitioned to get out of his mandatory spot with Devin Haney and vacated the belt. So he's going to confirm it, right? So you know, Max Kellerman is already aware that Lomachenko vacated the belt because Devin Haney was his mandatory and he wanted to go into a unification bout, didn't want to have to face his mandatory. He confirms and admits he knows this, but yet he's still trying to press the narrative that Devin Haney's not the champion.
Defense. I've been beating everyone that they put in front of me. It's the truth. If you can, the track record shows that Loma did petition to
get out of his mandatory against you, right?
It's reality. Whether they like it or not, it is reality.
And in the old days, a contender would just be frozen out of the title. And one of the arguments people
that
make...
is the truth.
So he's saying, now listen to Max Kellerman. In the old days, the contender would just be frozen out of the title. So by him saying that, he's saying that he understands that Devin Haney was in line to fight Lomachenko for the belt. And instead of freezing Devin Haney out, he had to vacate the belt. So he's saying that he wished it was the old days where Devin Haney would just be frozen out and didn't get his opportunity. But it's not the old days. So Lomachenko had to vacate the belt.
He got stripped of the title, and that's how Devin Haney got the WBC.
Listen how Max Kellerman said, when he gets stripped of the belt, listen to Max Kellerman say, right.
Against you, right?
It's reality. Whether they like it or not, it is reality.
And in the old days, a contender would just be frozen out of the title. And one of the arguments people
that is the truth. He got stripped of the title, right. And that's how Devin Haney got the WBC belt, and I've been defending it and I'm fighting for it ever since.
You're a real fighter. You know what people say and how people think. What does it mean to you? Obviously, you're...
So you heard it right there. Max Kellerman tried to press the narrative that Devin Haney is not the real WBC champion, and Devin Haney completely sets him straight. And Max Kellerman doesn't hide the fact that he's indeed pushing a narrative that he says that people like me like to say that George Kambosos is the champion. It's not up to people like you to just proclaim George Kambosos to be the champion without actually being the champion. Just listen to what he had to say.
Your shot against George Kambosos.
Your shot at George Kambosos,
who is now considered by people like me the lightweight champion of the world.
By people like me, the lightweight champion of the world. Amazing. This is the problem that's in the sport of boxing. Max Kellerman is very knowledgeable. He's a historian in the sport of boxing. He's too well-versed in the sport of boxing to press this narrative. And then at the same token, he's on the biggest sporting platform in the world in ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. And yet he's confusing the fans by trying to tell the fans with this sporting platform that Devin Haney's not the true champion. But at the same time, for true boxing fans and true boxing knowledgeable people, right, they understand and can read through him admitting that Devin Haney is the champion because Lomachenko didn't want to honor his mandatory and vacated the belt. But casual boxing fans are not going to pick that up. And then later on in this conversation, he goes on to say how boxing is a afterthought in the sport of boxing. And this is, you know, a platform. When you're on ESPN, you're on the big stage, essentially is what he's telling Devin Haney. And he says, why should people buy this fight? And Devin Haney, it goes on to explain. And he goes on to tell just how good George Kambosos is, so on and so forth. So Devin Haney lets him know he don't believe it's going to be a close fight, as Max Kellerman tries to press that it's going to be a close fight. This is the issue in the sport of boxing. Can't wait for Devin Haney, George Kambosos. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.